You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Atlanta, Georgia is a city where dreams flourish and ambitions soar, attracting many eager to reshape their lives. Enter a married couple filled with hope and determination who leave Myrtle Beach, South Carolina with a suitcase full of ambition to pursue their dreams. However, just as their new life seems promising, chaos erupts their plans. Gunshots ring out, altering their reality. Just when it appears that things are finally improving, one of them is left critically injured and fighting for their life in the hospital. What happened? Who was hurt? And did they move to Atlanta only to have their dreams abruptly cut short? And is one of them about to face a tragic fate? What happens when love becomes fatal? This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast with The Ultimate Betrayal.
November 16th, 2017. It's late Thursday night in Gwinnett County, Georgia, a sprawling suburban community on the eastern edge of Atlanta.
It's one of the most diverse counties in the United States. So a lot of people come here because it provides a lot of opportunity.
It's away from the city. It's an easy commute back to the city. But Gwinnett is actually, pretty quiet. It's a good area to raise your family.
But for one local family, the suburban serenity is about to be shattered.
What's going on? Did you hear that?
It's just before midnight when Gwinnett County 911 receives a frightened call from 42-year-old Tia Young.
911, what's the emergency? I just heard a gunshot.
Tia explained that her brother, Tim Lee, who also lives inside the home, heard the shots as well.
My brother just went to see what he could see.
Tia's still on the phone when Tim steps back inside.
It's George.
He told her that her husband had been shot.
He's at the front door, right at the back door.
His condition is critical.
He's laying on the ground bleeding.
Take a deep breath for me, okay?
Growing up in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, George and Tia Young were high school sweethearts who got married shortly after graduation.
He was an excellent husband.
They had such a good relationship together. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was jealous. They were like made for each other.
They had big dreams.
Those dreams brought George and Tia to Atlanta in 2005.
If you're looking for more, you're gonna likely be drawn to Atlanta.
You got people from out of town moved here, want to start a business or get involved in entertainment, sports. It's kind of place to be for African Americans.
In Atlanta, George found work in the security field.
He had done some security work back in his hometown in South Carolina, but the opportunities in Atlanta seemed endless.
The entertainment industry is rooted here, and it's ever expanding.
Entertainment does require security. It's really necessary, and it's a really big industry in Atlanta.
And George had connections.
Tia was really good friends with a woman who happened to be married to a guy that owned the most successful security company in town.
We've got several high-end clients. We've done Rihanna, Usher, Jay-Z. We've done a lot of them. We've had Shaquille. Whenever there was an event in Atlanta, they were going to call Strickland Security.
While the connection got George's foot in the door, his hustle did the rest.
He's just so charismatic, and he's just had such a welcoming spirit that, a lot of my clients I had prior to George joining me, they would always, hey, Mr. Strickland, I'm going to need you to come out here on this job yourself. But after George joined the team, it was, hey, can you send George? He was just highly requested by all the clients.
Despite the high demand, George somehow found time to start his own business.
He owned his own electronic security company, installing alarm systems.
Smells good in here, babe.
You're up early.
Yeah. Gonna be late tonight, babe. I got 3 big installs today, okay?
Okay.
George was known to work long hours, sometimes putting in 67 hours a week.
He was just relentless. Guys like this aren't born every day.
Tia was just as busy taking care of the couple's growing family.
She's raising 3 boys. She was committed to being a stay-at-home mom, taking care of the kids.
But George always made time for his kids, too.
He would always talk about his boys, and he always found a way to be there for his kids. There's times he would call and say, hey, I can't start this job until 2 o'clock because my son has soccer practice.
In 2012, George's hard work and Tia's loving support took their family to the next level. A gorgeous new home in Gwinnett County.
George had that hustle mentality where he's going to do anything for his family.
Gwinnett County is a quieter way of life, a slower pace to life, and an opportunity to perhaps buy a bigger home that they can buy in the city.
Gwinnett is more of the safe place where you think, okay, well, I can get a nice house for a certain amount of money and raise my family.
Hardworking and generous, in 2016, the Youngs opened their home to Tia's brother, Tim Lee.
He was catching some hard times in South Carolina, living in motels, sometimes not having a place to stay.
George reached out and invited them into the couple's home.
George, I can't, man. Are you sure about this?
Come on, man, your family.
To help Tim get back on his feet, George also got him a job.
George had approached me one day and said, hey, brother, I have a guy that I want to bring on board. He doesn't have any experience, but I'm going to teach him.
And that was just the way that George was.
He was just so amazing, such a down-to-earth and real individual.
But now, George lies bleeding just outside the home he'd worked so hard to provide for his family.
Home is where you're supposed to be safe, where your peace is. You get that close, you're on the threshold, and you don't make it. It's devastating.
Is your brother, or are you able to do CPR? Okay, can you put your brother on the phone?
While first responders race to the scene, the dispatcher walks Tim through CPR.
Okay, I want you to put your hands in the center of his chest. You're going to push down twice per second, and we're going to count out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4.
When first responders arrive, they find Tim still desperately trying to save George.
He was saying, don't die, don't die.
George, please. Sir, we'll take this. Come on, George, please.
They take over the CPR from Tim.
There was nothing that they could do.
George Young was pronounced dead on the scene.
With a flourishing career already underway, who would want to cause harm to someone actively pursuing their dreams? Stay tuned as we find out what actually took place. This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
After moving to Atlanta with his beautiful wife and 3 boys, George Young was living the American dream.
He's having high-profile entertainers that he's doing security for, and it's just leading him into a huge position in this industry.
He was so proud of being able to be successful in the business aspect of getting the job done, but to manage that family role as well. He found a way to juggle and be successful.
But then, everything came crashing down in an instant.
Tia Young called 911.
It's George.
Indicating her husband had been shot.
By the time first responders arrived to give aid to George Young, he was dead.
George is still on his doorstep when homicide detectives arrive on the scene.
George Young never made it in the house.
He's laying in a pool of his own blood, keys in the door.
George's iPad and papers are scattered on the steps where he dropped them.
He was ambushed, bushwhacked in front of his house.
They shoot him twice. The first shot in the chest and the second shot was in the head.
They wanted to ensure that George would die.
But who was the killer? The crime scene offers few clues.
No murder weapon was recovered from the scene. They did recover one shell casing.
It's from a .40 caliber automatic pistol.
They were able to establish what kind of gun was used.
It was impossible to say whether the killer followed George home or if he had been waiting for him.
Although detectives hope by speaking to the neighbors who've gathered outside, they can find a witness who saw the killer.
People in his community were extremely shocked that something like that could happen in that neighborhood.
Several neighbors say they heard the shots.
We didn't know it was a shot. It sounded like a firecracker.
I thought it was something inside the house that fell. 4 seconds later, there was another one.
And one neighbor had even heard the shooting's harrowing aftermath.
And he was like, George, don't leave me, don't die on me. And then I could hear the 911 operator trying to walk him through CPR.
However, the neighbors hadn't seen anyone fleeing the scene or anything suspicious in the neighborhood.
None of them had any idea who might want to hurt George either.
Nobody really had a bad word to say about George.
He's a hardworking man, hardworking father, loving father.
Hoping she may know more, detectives speak with George's wife, Tia.
By this time, Tia was able to regain some of her composure, and she arranged for her mom, who was also staying in the home at the time, to watch her kids.
Just kind of walk me through how you came about all this tonight, how you found out.
Tia explained that George was working security late at a mall in Buckhead for an event.
He told me this morning he would be home probably around anywhere between 11 and 1.
She says that since George was going to be late, she'd gone to bed early, at around 9:30.
But I don't think I dozed off to maybe like 10, I guess, down to 2:30, I'm guessing. I don't remember.
But Tia says she'll never forget how she woke up.
I heard a loud noise.
She didn't know if it was fireworks. She didn't know if it was gunshots.
Sometimes I don't know the difference between a firecracker and a gunshot, but I was wondering why somebody would be shooting firecrackers this time of night.
She goes to Tim's room. Tim's not there. She finds him in the kitchen working on his laptop.
I said, "Did you hear that?" And he said, "Yeah, it sounded like gunshots."
The gunshots sounded very close to the family home, and out of fear for her safety and her children's, Tia contacted 911.
Tim runs and gets the shotgun that the family usually keeps just for protection, and he goes outside.
Tia says that Tim was only outside for a moment.
He'd ran back in and told Tia that it was George and that he had been shot.
The front door was wide open and I could see George's legs. That's it, because I don't want to see him like that.
Understand.
Tia says she has no idea why it happened.
Do you know of any reason anybody would want to hurt him or anybody in your family?
No.
By all accounts, this man has no enemies. Why is he dead?
I'm in shock. I just don't understand this. I really don't. This is crazy.
She was just confused.
I don't remember hearing a car speed off or anything. That I can recall, I didn't hear anything.
We're going to do everything we can to try to figure that out, okay? There's got to be something that happened, something maybe tonight, somebody followed him home.
Tia says she's unsure, so detectives turn to Tim, who appears just as devastated by George's death.
Tim told the detectives that him and George were very close and that George had done so much for him.
I was living in motels until my brother-in-law was like, start working for me and just stay in the house.
Great.
Tim's account of the shooting mirrors Tia's too.
I was at my laptop doing work and I heard a single shot. It sounded kind of close. And then seconds later, I heard a second shot, which also sounded kind of close.
Tim said that he was in the process of figuring out what was going on, but then Tia ran into the room.
That's when he'd grabbed the shotgun, stepped outside, and found George.
I grabbed his hand. I'm like, George, but he was just staring straight up. I kind of shaking him, George, didn't say anything. He just, saw the blood.
He goes back inside, he lets Tia know, puts his shotgun up, and he goes outside and administers CPR for George.
I stayed beside him until the officer.
And like Tia, Tim doesn't understand why someone would want to kill George.
Any beef with anybody? Was anybody arguing? I mean, have you ever had anybody try to rob anybody? Anything that would make you, why you thought this would happen?
The only thing Tim can think of is that it might have something to do with their line of work.
We did security work for almost everybody. Actors, rappers, musicians.
Okay. And who was he protecting tonight? What was the detail for?
Tonight it was Little Yachty.
George Young was doing a security detail for a high-profile rapper.
When you are part of the team that's responsible for providing security to a high-profile entertainer, that comes with its own set of concerns and issues.
Now they're wondering, could someone have followed him home from that event?
The quest for clarity looms ahead. We can only hope that the actual truth lies beneath the chaos. Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Detectives investigating George Young's murder have just learned that prior to his death, he'd been working an event in Atlanta's Buckhead neighborhood for rap sensation Lil Yachty.
George loved the celebrity event so much. Whenever there was an artist or an executive protection, he wanted to be a part of that. And we knew Lil Yachty was going to bring a real big crowd.
The more popular you are, you got to have security. And people come up to these celebrities like they know them.
It was an environment where George always shined.
Anyone he met for the first time, he made them feel calm.
He really had a knack for just easing tension in situations that may have been escalating. He knew how to bring that down.
We did many events, and everything was just always spotless. George was he became my good luck charm for those events.
But now detectives wonder if George's luck had run out.
Something could have happened in Buckhead, and they followed him home.
You never know if there's a fan that is upset because they couldn't get to their favorite entertainer.
I know he's up there at that rap concert. I'm not trying to say there's always crime involved with that, but you never know.
Tim doesn't rule out the possibility, but he has little else to offer detectives about the killer's identity.
I didn't see nobody running, didn't hear no wheels squealing or nothing.
However, one thing seems certain. Tim had nothing to do with George's murder.
They did a gunshot residue test on his hands.
Anytime the police investigate a homicide, they are going to look at the people closest to the victim. It is standard operating procedure.
No gun residue or gunpowder was found on his hands.
They also tested swabs from Tia's hands.
The results of the tests ruled out Tia as her husband's killer.
The next morning, hoping to learn more about the hours leading up to George's murder, detectives reach out to his boss, Rob Strickland, who's still reeling from the phone call he received a few hours earlier.
I'm in the bed, and the wife's phone starts ringing. She picks up the phone, and then her voice says, "No, Tia, not George." And I heard that, and I immediately, I'm looking at her, my eyes are, what happened? What happened? She hands the phone to me, and Tia is saying, "Rob, someone shot George." Shot George? Where? In front of the house. And it was like an out-of-body experience. I'm going to myself, this has got to be a nightmare.
When they sit down with George's boss, It's clear detectives think there might be some connection between the murder and his security work.
The police said they needed to question me regarding the Little Yachty event. And while in the interview room, they asked me a bunch of questions. What happened during the event? When was the last time I spoke with George? A lot of details. Was George in danger? Was there any issues?
According to Rob, the answer is no.
Nothing like that. So everything went well.
The event went great. Everything was perfect. No issues, no incidents.
By all accounts, it had been a good event. It had been a good night for George.
George was never in danger. Things just didn't add up.
Typically, when someone gets killed, they're involved in activities that can get you killed. They're drug dealing, they're robbing, they're gang banging, they're scamming people and whatnot. George Young wasn't doing any of those things.
I just don't see how this has anything to do with his work.
But is it possible detectives are missing something?
Typically, in a lot of homicide cases or any type of crime cases, there's always someone that is not going to tell the truth. Someone is going to hide certain information that is needed to connect the dots.
The first indication that something more might be going on comes when one of George and Tia's neighbors calls detectives with a tip.
Well, yesterday, before all the police showed up, I saw something strange.
The neighbor tells them that they saw Tim come out, run to George's car.
I saw Tim on the ground, messing around under the truck.
And then he got up and ran back around the house.
They wasn't sure, with everything just happening, what he could have done under that car.
Determined to find out, detectives bring Tim in for more questioning.
Could this be the piece of the puzzle that we were looking for?
Or is the puzzle about to get way more complicated?
When you went out there, you were looking under the car. What were you looking for?
The tracking.
Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tim Lee has just told detectives investigating George Young's murder that there was a tracking device on George's car.
That's what the neighbor saw Tim removing from George's car after the murder.
They were like, why was a tracker on the car?
Tim tells the detectives that it was George's idea.
He gave me the money to put a tracker on the truck.
Mm-hmm. To find his truck? How did you monitor that tracker?
My app.
Okay.
The tracker had an app that was downloaded to Timothy Lee's phone.
All right. Can you show me that app? Can you come up?
This is the app right there.
Tim's story leaves detectives with even more questions.
Why would George want a tracker on his car in the first place?
And the explanation opened up the floodgates.
He said that he had gotten involved. He wouldn't tell me the full story, but he said that he got involved in something that he shouldn't have.
But Tim tells detectives he'd eventually learn the truth.
George got involved with a guy named Terrence Bannerman, who was running guns out of Florida.
Gun trafficking is a huge nightmare for law enforcement.
Weapons are smuggled from states like Florida and Georgia, where gun laws are more lax, into northeastern states with stricter gun laws.
He was transporting guns.
Sometimes in conducting your investigation, you may find some things that are not so flattering about your victim.
Could that explain why George had been gunned down outside his suburban Atlanta home?
You know how dangerous that stuff is, though, right?
Yes.
Tim says George had only gotten involved because he was desperate for money.
He said George was having some significant financial problems. Even though he was bringing in a lot of money was going out. He had a wife that didn't work. He had 3 sons. He had a nice house. He had several vehicles. And he was kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul.
And according to Tim, smuggling guns for Terrence Banderman had improved George's finances. But recently, he started having second thoughts.
He wanted out because he felt like it was too much.
Tim told detectives that walking away wasn't easy.
They would not let him because he said he met too many high-ranking people. And they were not by high-ranking people in the gun traffic. He said he met too many high-ranking people.
Tim says that's why George asked him to put the tracker on his car.
In the event that he goes missing, at least I know where the truck is.
Tim said that after he told the gun runners that he wanted out, George feared that they would try to silence him.
You're saying that this guy come here and kill George as he's coming home?
I don't think it's Terrence at all.
Or he set George up to get killed, or set out a hit on George, put out a hit on George.
That I'm not sure, but I do know that he has been ducking everybody trying to get out of it.
But is it possible Tim isn't as innocent as he claims?
There was one huge problem with Tim's story.
He didn't initially disclose that the tracker was on the car.
That means you're trying to hide something.
I didn't want the actual story to come out.
Tim said that he was just trying to protect George's reputation.
It was.
Tim also tells detectives that if they don't believe him, they should ask Tia.
Not too long ago, Terrence Bannerman popped up at the house and spoke to Tia.
And what did he tell Tia?
They need to talk because George is really messed up.
Had the mysterious Terrence Banderman followed up on his threats?
Clearly, the detectives needed to talk to Tia.
So we need to ask Tia, see if she can confirm what you told us about this gun dude showing up at the house, and that she knew if George was running guns or not.
But when they step out of the interrogation to call Tia, her answer isn't what they expected.
He said George had the whole gun running thing. That's what he told me.
Tia said she had no clue what Tim was talking about.
It's hard for me to believe he was safe.
Why would she do that?
I don't know. I know nothing about that.
With a flourishing career already underway, who would want to cause harm to someone actively pursuing their dreams? Stay tuned as we find out what actually took place. This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When Tim Lee claimed that George Young may have been murdered because he'd gotten involved with illegal gun runners, detectives were skeptical.
If someone followed him there, they wouldn't have let him get out of his car and come all the way to the front door. They would have popped him as he sat in his car.
Why do it right at the front door where everybody can see and hear?
Tim informed law enforcement that his sister Tia could confirm his story and that a gun runner had come by the home and threatened her.
Let's see what Tia knows.
All right, sit tight, man.
But Tia's answer apparently wasn't what Tim expected.
Tia denied knowing anything about the gun running.
And he said George had this whole gun running thing. That's what he told me.
I know nothing about it.
When they update Tim, he seems shocked.
I don't know why she's saying that, and you're telling me something different.
Tim says he doesn't know either.
He kept insisting that he was telling the truth.
I don't know where we go from there. I don't. Do you know what this Terrence guy looks like?
I've never seen him. Never seen him. I've just heard the name.
You've never seen him?
Not in person.
Despite their suspicions, detectives have no choice but to cut Tim loose.
Tia didn't back him up, so police had their suspicions of Tim's story that there was illegal activity going on.
It automatically put holes in his initial story about the gun running thing.
However, before detectives can dig much deeper, they're contacted by George's sister.
She said she had just gotten into town from South Carolina and she needed to speak to them.
When she sits down with detectives, she says she has urgent information about her brother's death.
There's so much that I want to tell you that I don't even know where to start. I feel like this is just crazy right now.
She started with what may be the craziest thing of all.
Tia doesn't have a brother.
While Tia had repeatedly referred to Tim as her brother, it turns out that they were not related at all.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I grew up with him.
Tim was one of George's friends from South Carolina.
And I don't like him, I never have.
Okay.
But George's sister suspects Tia may have had a different opinion of Tim.
She said that when she got to Tia and George's home earlier that day, she found Tia and Tim alone together.
Hey, Tia. It was in the room with the door closed.
Hey. Both of them.
Both of them.
The detectives were pretty quick to realize where this was going.
Do you think that maybe they were having an affair?
Possibly.
You start to ask questions. Was there some tension going on in the house? Was there things going on within the marriage?
George's sister says she suspects that was the case.
They never go to anywhere together. Every time he comes home, she would never come home with him. My brother, he would go on business trips, he would come home and visit. She would never come, ever.
She also said that George and Tia had stopped sleeping together in the same bed.
She sleeps on the couch in their bedroom, and she told me she has been for a while.
However, that isn't all she has to tell detectives.
My brother had a big insurance policy.
He did?
In fact, George's sister said that she found out about it from Tia.
She told me my brother had $1 million insurance policy months ago.
An unhappy marriage, a possible affair, and $1 million in insurance money on the line. For detectives, it all adds up to a motive for murder.
It's one thing, infidelity, but greed will have you to do things that is out of the norm for you. Extreme things like plot against someone's life.
When detectives follow up with the insurance company, they discover that Tia had called to file a claim.
The insurance company even had the call on tape.
Can you email us the recording?
The name of the insured person, please. George Frederick Young III. All right, thank you. And may I have your name, please? Tia Young. And your relationship to the insured? Spouse. All right, thank you. Are you calling in to report the passing? Yes. I'm very sorry for your loss.
The fact that Tia reached out to the insurance company was not suspicious in and of itself because she did have herself and the 3 kids to take care of.
However, detectives couldn't help but notice when Tia had made the call.
What day did he pass away? Last night, November 16th.
Less than 24 hours, Tia Young is checking on that life insurance policy? That had to throw up some red flags.
But despite Tia's urgent desire to cash in on George's death, detectives are still a long way from proving that she and Tim were behind the murder.
This murder happened in November, and here we are in the new year, and months are going by, and I'm getting a little anxious, and I started contacting Detective Smith. Hey, Detective Smith, what's going on? And he just kept, hey, take it easy, Rob, it's fine. the DA's office. They need more evidence.
The search for evidence leads detectives to subpoena Tia and Tim's phone records.
Unfortunately for police, there was no murder conspiracies found in the text interactions between Tia and Tim.
They didn't find anything talking bad about George. They didn't find any type of coordination on the phone saying, I hate George, or we're gonna set George up and we're gonna kill him.
However, the text messages leave little doubt about the nature of Tia's relationship with Tim.
They found some intimate text messages.
Some would even say sexual.
They were in fact involved in an illicit affair,
which could give detectives some leverage.
The reason I brought you back in here today is I have a follow-up question.
The detectives come at her with the text messages that they found.
And having a relationship with Tim.
If you tell one lie, you got to tell another lie, and then that lie got to follow another lie. And so after a while, the lies begin to catch up.
Put on the spot, Tia tells the truth.
She had no choice but to just admit to the affair.
The sex part, the affair, I'm very, very embarrassed.
What detectives were really wanting to know is if Tia would be willing to admit to anything else.
This is your only chance to tell me what's really going on, because everything else looks really bad.
The quest for clarity looms ahead. We can only hope that the actual truth lies beneath the chaos. Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
After detectives investigating George Young's murder confront his wife Tia with the steamy text messages she sent Tim Lee, she confesses they've been having an affair.
And you guys are still in a relationship now?
Yes, to be honest, yes.
Well, that's what I want is honesty.
To be honest, yes.
Police kept pushing, hoping that she would admit to plotting her husband's murder.
What it looks like is you're this hateful, horrible spouse that connived with your live-in boyfriend to kill your husband for money. If that's how it is, then that's fine. You can tell me that. But if that's not what happened, then this is your only chance to tell me what was really going on.
But Tia has no intention of confessing to the murder.
The only thing I'm guilty of is having an affair. Yes, and I'm not belittling it like it's nothing. I know that's a big thing. So I'm not saying it like, oh, that's all I did, but that is the only damn thing I'm guilty of, is that.
She said that the only reason she wasn't upfront with the police about the affair is because she was trying to spare her family.
I know my mom and my children would be very hurt by it, but if it has to come out, it has to come out.
And it would all come out, both the affair and the alleged murder plot. After the interview, detectives placed Tia under arrest.
Turn her face to the wall.
Police felt like this was all the evidence that they were going to get. And although circumstantial, they were wanting her to have her day in court.
When detectives bring Tim back in after Tia's arrest, he doesn't admit to the affair or anything else.
They were both interviewed one final time and placed under arrest.
Tia and Tim's arrests shock many who knew the family.
You have a man that is a great husband and father. A man that's doing everything any woman would want, and he's set up to be murdered.
It's really hard, because you try to think of reasons why, but you can't.
When Tim Lee and Tia Young go on trial for murder in March of 2019, there's no doubt that George was well loved.
It was definitely a packed courtroom. Clients of ours, all the people George had known in his life, the entire security team, law enforcement. There was just so many people there. It gave us all a chance to spend a little time together and talk about George, about the good times. But it was real tough.
In their opening statement, the prosecutors argue the motive for George's murder was simple.
Tia wanted to be with Tim.
She should have been woman enough to tell her husband that she no longer wanted to be with him and simply gotten a divorce.
But while a divorce might have left her free to be with Tim, murder could get the lovers $1 million payout.
They kill him over insurance policy.
Many people who decide to commit murder let greed control their actions.
And just before midnight on November 16th, they were ready to cash in.
They plotted and planned and waited till he came home.
The tracker that Tim planted on George's car let them know exactly when he would be home.
And just as George put his keys in the door, Tim made his move.
Tim, what are you doing?
George went over and beyond for a friend just to turn around and get betrayed like this. Ah, that's unreal.
These people were evil.
When it's the defense's turn, Tim and Tia's attorneys argue that prosecutors have proved their clients had an affair, but there's no evidence connecting them to George's death.
The case was 100% circumstantial, meaning that there wasn't any direct evidence. There wasn't any eyewitness testimony. There wasn't any confession.
They did not have a murder weapon.
They both tested negative for gun residue at the scene, but law enforcement was well aware that they could have scrubbed it off.
What the prosecutors do have, though, are Tim and Tia telling lie after lie.
Is the person that shot him still outside? No, my brother doesn't see anybody.
She lied right off the jump. It's my brother. Now, you can say that's my brother because he's my best friend or something like that. But it didn't sound that way. It sounded like that was our blood brother.
People don't lie to get into the trouble. They lie to get out of trouble.
George has been running guns and he has been trying to get out.
No evidence was ever found about gun running.
All of the little lies, all of the discrepancies added up.
The final tally is enough for the jury to find both Tim and Tia guilty of murder.
I was very happy with the guilty verdicts and hope that somewhere along the line that they clearly understand how wrong it was of what they did and how bad it was for them to make a decision to hurt someone who trusted them both.
And they'll have plenty of time to think about what they've done.
Tim gets life with no parole. Tia gets life, but she has a possibility of parole in 30 years.
Sometimes I feel that she shouldn't have an opportunity for parole based on her involvement and based on the trust that was violated.
Not only did Tia betray George, she also betrayed their children.
It's hard not to think about the boys, not to think about what they were going through.
It's just such a tragedy for them.
Because Tim and Tia's greed took something from them that can never be replaced.
He was a family man.
I was blessed to have someone like that in my life. And to this day, I've never met anyone who could come close to George Young. And we all still miss him dearly.
In a world interlaced with lies, love, guilt, and betrayal, the ultimate act of deceit can leave scars that many never fully heal, especially when a beloved one is betrayed, never to be heard from again. The pain deepens, leaving a shadow filled with grief. George Young, a devoted father, a successful businessman, a friend, and a beloved figure, will live on in the cherished memories he created, illuminating the path for his loved ones. Coming up on the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
She was a young mom who built her life around her kids.
She adored her children. She loved them so much.
But at times, she struggled.
She was suffering from postpartum depression.
Postpartum is very tricky. It's a monster.
Could that be the reason for her mysterious disappearance?
No one had heard from her.
In picturesque Colorado Springs, a devoted healthcare worker and mother of two has gone missing. Desperate for answers, her mother reaches out to the police to initiate a search. As the investigation unfolds, detectives encounter unexpected twists that lead to surprising outcomes. Tune in to the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast. We will see you in the next episode.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.